To start off, I have never played a Mass Effect title before this. I've been aware of the series for a long time, but the trilogy was never really on my radar. With the release of the Legendary Edition, I decided that I'd give it a go. After completing all three games and their DLC after over 147 hours, all I have to say is that I'm more than glad to have had this experience. Mass Effect is one of the greatest pieces of sci-fi literature of our generation. Yes, literature. The fact that it's also a playable experience is really just the icing on the cake. The story is amazing and intriguing. The world building does a great job creating the setting of the games, where there is conflict between the different species that leads to the point of where the first game starts. What makes the story great is throughout the games, the player is presented with many situations that don't just have a straightforward answer. Instead, it creates a gray area that really makes you think about the choice you're about to make and how it will impact the story later. It's hard to believe that the story is nearly a decade old. That just goes to show how timeless the games are. What makes the Mass Effect trilogy special and what enhances the story are the squad mates. Each of them are unique with their own backstories, flaws, and how they can interact with Shepard. There are some who aren't as good as others, but otherwise, the characters are the best part of the games. The more Shepard talks to everyone, the more he or she learns about them. Because of this, there are characters that I will admit I didn't think I would like as much as I do. That just shows how well the characters are written. Some of my favorite characters include Garrus, Tali, Liara, Thane, and Mordin. I feel like this needs to addressed, so I'll keep it brief without going into spoiler territory. Before playing, I heard that the ending of the trilogy is bad and unfulfilling due to choices not affecting it, and a few other reasons. This was one of the things that originally deterred me from playing. After seeing the ending myself, I can say that I feel that the ending isn't super terrible, but doesn't give closure to everything that happens in the game, especially in relation to what happens to the squad mates we all grew to love. Overall, not the highlight of the trilogy. Replaying this series is like seeing old friends after years apart. Even though I made more or less the same decisions I made the first time around I played it, the game still had so many moments that gave me chills and made me emotional. It really makes you feel like Commander Shepard. With this edition, not only are you getting 3 games, you're getting 3 of the best games ever made. That being said, the first game has aged a bit, and the AI was, and still is, awful in that game. The story, characters, and world, however, more than make up for any minor flaws. The combat and driving sections are still a bit lackluster, but a universe this dense with rich lore and consequential decisions is a pleasure to come back to. It's by far the best story of any video game, and movie for that matter, I have ever experienced. So, do I recommend it? I would say no, because once you play through these games and fall in love with the characters, you'll get to the end. And then, your life will seem empty and pointless. The Mass Effect world is actually just so much better than your life. You'll need therapy after you're done with it for your post-Mass Effect depression. Forget therapy, you're going to need a hug after. Now seriously, do I recommend you play it? No, I insist that you play it. 10 out of 10. I still miss Garrus,